The day the school bell broke Class 3C was not a quiet class. There were kids who talked all the time. Some liked to daydream and stare out the window. Some drew silly pictures on their notebooks. Some just loved to eat crunchy snacks, especially during reading time. But even with all the noise and fun, Class 3C listened to one thing: the school bell. Ding ding! It told them when school started. Ding ding! It told them when to go to recess. Ding ding! It told them when it was time for lunch. Everyone's favorite time. The bell was loud and clear. It kept the whole school on track. Their teacher was Mr. Crumble. He had a big smile, curly hair, and 10 ties with silly shapes on them like bananas and pencils. Mr. Crumble loved rules. He loved checklists, timers, and knowing exactly what came next. Every day, he said the same thing. When the bell rings, we move. And the class would repeat, when the bell rings, we move. It worked. The bell rang and the kids did what they were supposed to do. Even the doodlers and snackers paid attention to the bell. One day, Mr. Crumble came in, holding a clipboard and smiling. Good morning, 3C. Let's have another great day of learning. He looked at the big clock on the wall. Just waiting for the bell to start the day, he said. The class waited. They sat in their seats. They looked at the door, but the bell didn't ring. Everyone looked at each other. Did we miss it? One girl whispered. Mr. Crumble frowned. Something was wrong. Really wrong. The next morning, Class 3C sat at their desks, waiting. They were all quiet. They were waiting for the bell. Mr. Crumble stood at the front of the room with his big smile. Any second now, he said, the bell will ring and we'll start math. But the bell didn't ring. The class looked around. Was it broken? Was it late? Maybe it's just slow today, said Sam. So they waited a little longer. Still no bell. Said Mr. Crumble. That's odd. He checked his watch. It was the right time. Still no ding-ding. Well, he said, let's start anyway. They did a little math, but it felt strange. The room was too quiet. The kids kept looking at the door. Usually, the bell told them when it was time for snack. But snack time came and still no bell. Can we eat now? Asked Layla. I don't know, said Ben. What if it's not really snack time? Mr. Crumble scratched his head. I'm going to check, he said. He walked down the hall to the office. A minute later, he came back, looking surprised. Well, he said slowly, I have news. Everyone sat up. The school bell is broken. What? Shouted the whole class. It's true, said Mr. Crumble. No ding-dong today. The kids gasped. How will we know when it's lunch? Asked Maya. What about recess? Asked Josh. What about home time? Said Ravi, looking worried. Mr. Crumble nodded. Yes, it's a big problem. The bell helps us all know what to do. Without it, the day might get very confusing. He looked around at all the faces. We'll have to figure something out, he said. Something smart. Something new. The class looked at each other. No bell? No ding? No idea what time it is? It was a ding-dong disaster. The school day kept going, but without the bell, everything felt strange. Class 3C didn't know what to do next. They were supposed to switch from reading to math, but no one stopped reading. Maya kept reading her book upside down. Ben was drawing sharks in the corner of his notebook. Mr. Crumble looked at the clock. Oh no! It's already math time! He clapped his hands. Time for math, everyone! Some kids looked up. Most didn't. We didn't hear the bell, said Leo. I guess we just keep reading, said Ruby. Mr. Crumble groaned. Later, around 11:30, something even sillier happened. Half the class opened their lunchboxes. Crunch! Slurp! Munch! They were eating early. Wait, said Mr. Crumble. It's not lunchtime yet. But I thought it was, said Theo, his mouth full of crackers. There was no bell, said Maya. How are we supposed to know? Mr. Crumble's eye twitched. Then it got worse. Leo stood up, put on his backpack, and walked to the door. "Where are you going?" Mr. Crumble asked. "Home," Leo said. "I think school is over." Mr. Crumble rushed to stop him. "It's not home time." Leo blinked. Oh, no bell. Next was art class. There was paint, there was glue, there were googly eyes everywhere, but no one knew when to clean up. So no one did. Paint dripped onto the floor. Glue stuck to the chairs. Ben sat on a sticky seat and shouted, "I'm stuck!" Even worse, someone found a pencil inside a cheese sandwich. "Ew!" shouted Maya. "Who packed art supplies for lunch?" Mr. Crumble stood in the middle of the room, holding a paper towel in one hand and a glue stick in the other. His hair was messy. His tie had glitter on it. He looked around at the chaos and cried, "We need the bell back!" Class 3C nodded. They missed the ding. They missed the rules. They even missed lining up. Because without the bell, the whole day was a big, silly mess. After the messy art class, Mr. Crumble sat down in his squeaky chair. His hair still had glitter in it. There was glue on his shoe. A pencil was stuck in his tie. "This can't go on," he said. The kids sat quietly. Even Leo, who tried to go home early, looked serious. Then Ruby raised her hand. "What if we fix it?" Fix the bell?" asked Mr. Crumble. "No," said Ruby. "Fix the day. We can make our own bell." Theo jumped up. "Yeah, like a team. A bell team," shouted Ben. "A bell brigade," said Maya. Everyone cheered. "Okay," said Mr. Crumble. "The bell brigade it is." He wrote it on the whiteboard in big letters. Bell Brigade. Class 3. "Now," he said, "what ideas do you have?" Hands flew up. "A classroom dance alarm," shouted Ruby. "When it's time to change subjects, we all do a silly dance." Ben waved his hand. "What about a giant rubber chicken? It can honk when it's lunch," Maya giggled. "A kazoo chorus. We all play kazoos at once. Honk, honk, honk." "Maybe we can sing a bell song," said Theo. "Like a music bell." Mr. Crumble laughed. "These are interesting ideas." He thought for a moment. "Okay," he said. "Let's test something simple first." He looked at Maya. "Maya, you're always watching the clock. Would you like to be our class timekeeper?" Maya sat up tall. "Me? Really?" Mr. Crumble nodded. "You'll let us know when it's time to change activities." "I can do that," she said with a big smile. He handed her a small bell from the cupboard. It was silver and shiny. "Use this," he said, "but only when it's the right time." Maya nodded. The bell brigade had begun. Class 3C clapped for their new timekeeper. They were ready to take back the day-own ring at a time. Maya was proud to be the class timekeeper. "This is a very big job," she told herself. So she got ready. First, she made a tall paper hat. On the front, it said, "Time Boss." Then she made a colorful time chart. It showed when math started, when snack ended, and when it was time to go home. Last, she made a big sign with red letters. "Time to switch." "Perfect," Maya said. She didn't want to use the tiny bell. It was too quiet. So she brought a lunchbox and a wooden drumstick from home. Thunk! Thunk! She hit the lunchbox like a drum. "Time to do reading," she called. The class laughed, but it worked. They listened. Mr. Crumble gave her a thumbs up. "Nice job, Maya." All morning, Maya watched the clock carefully. She walked around with her lunchbox drum and her sign. She waved her arms like a crossing guard. "Math time is over. Snack time begins," she shouted. The class cheered and grabbed their snacks. But then, something happened. Maya dropped her pencil. She bent down to find it. She checked under her desk, under her chair, inside her backpack. She looked and looked and looked. She forgot about the clock. She forgot about her job. She forgot everything except her missing pencil. 1 hour later, Mr. Crumble looked up. Wait, isn't snack time supposed to be 15 minutes? The class looked at the clock. They had been snacking for a whole hour. Oh no, Maya said, holding up her pencil. I forgot. Everyone laughed. Mr. Crumble chuckled too. Even time bosses need reminders, he said. Mr. Crumble had one last idea. If the bell is broken, he said, I will be the bell. The class blinked. You? Asked Leo. Yes, Mr. Crumble said proudly. I shall be the human bell. At the next time switch, Mr. Crumble said. Crumble stood up, clapped his hands loudly, and shouted, Ding! 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 Move along, my clever ding-dongs. The class burst out laughing. Did he just call us ding-dongs? Giggled Ruby. I like this bell, said Maya. Even the sleepy kids sat up and listened. It was silly, but it worked. Every 30 minutes, Mr. Crumble clapped his hands, marched around the classroom, and shouted, Ding, ding, ding! Time for math. Ding, ding, ding. Snack time begins. Ding, ding, ding. Clean up, my brilliant ding-dongs. It became the funniest part of the day. Kids started listening better. They packed up faster. Some even clapped along with him. But by lunch, Mr. Crumble looked tired. He sank into his chair and sighed. I've walked more today than I have all year. He poured himself a cup of tea. Then another. And another. 5 cups already, he mumbled. Still sleepy. At the next switch, he stood up again but slowly. His voice was quieter now. Ding, ding, move along, my clever nap-naps. Mr. Crumble? Asked Leo. Are you okay? I think, Mr. Crumble yawned. I need a nap, or a new bell. The class looked at one another. The human bell had done his best, but it was time for a better plan, and maybe, just maybe, the real bell would come back soon. The next day, Class 3C tried to stay on track. Mr. Crumble still did his ding-ding-ding walk. Maya had her lunchbox drum ready just in case. The kids weren't as wild as before, but things were still a little silly. Some kids clapped with Mr. Crumble. Others made their own bell sounds. Ding-doodle-ding! Bong-goog! Chim-chim! Even Mr. Crumble laughed a little. Well, he said, it's not perfect, but it's better than chaos. Then, just before lunch, the loudspeaker crackled. It was the principal's voice. Attention, students and teachers, she said. Everyone stopped. Was it another silly plan? Was she going to say kazoo alarms forever? The principal cleared her throat and said, The bell is fixed. There was a short silence. Then cheers! Yay, wee, shouted Class 3C. Ruby threw her hands in the air. Leo stood on his chair and danced. Maya dropped her drumstick and clapped hard. Even Mr. Crumble gasped. Really? The bell? The real bell? He looked like he might cry happy tears. He wiped his glasses and smiled. Thank you, bell fixers, he whispered. That afternoon, everyone waited. They stared at the clock. Tick, 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 and then ding, gick, gick. The sound rang loud and clear across the school. Everyone froze. Then they all clapped. It's beautiful, said Mr. Crumble. Best sound ever, whispered Maya. No more glue in my sandwich, Leo added. The bell had come back, and Class 3C had never loved it more. The next day, the bell rang like normal. Ding! The class clapped. The sound felt perfect. Mr. Crumble smiled. Ah, my beautiful bell. I missed you. Everything was back in order. The bell rang for math kids opened their books. The bell rang for lunch no one ate early. The bell rang for home time, everyone packed up at once. Mr. Crumble wrote on the board. What we learned from the bell break. Bells help us stay on track. It's hard to work without a good system. Working together makes a difference. Moral lesson. Even small things, like a bell, are important. Teamwork helps when things go wrong. Being organized makes school and life better. Follow for more, subscribe for more,